Carbon Market Watch is an NGO based in Brussels, in Belgium, and over the last 5 years we have done quite a lot of work around emissions trading markets, especially the United Nations Clean Development Mechanism, which was born out of the Kyoto Protocol, and the European Union Emissions Trading Scheme. We advocate for environmental and social integrity in climate policies, both at UN and European level.
You just mentioned the EU emission trading scheme. Tell us more about it and the role of offset credits.
So the EU ETS currently represents the largest market in emission allowances that aims to set a price on carbon across 28 EU member states, as well as Norway, Liechtenstein and Iceland. Companies covered by the EU ETS are allowed to use a large quantity of offsets to account for their climate targets. The use of offset credits is initially meant to function as a cost containment tool to allow companies to make cost-effective investments to make it easier for them to achieve EU climate targets.
What do you think are the impacts of these offset credits?
So the use of these credits has been quite detrimental to the functioning of the EU market because the quantity limit was set too generously in the beginning. This has severely disrupted the market in the sense that it doubled the oversupply up to 2012, and the European Commission estimated that until 2020 the offset credits will amount to 2/3 of the oversupply. If we also take into consideration the effects of the economic crisis, this means basically that the carbon price was brought down to very low levels, currently around €4. However, this is not the only problem. Environmental integrity and the quality of these offsets is also very important. Because for every offset that a company purchases, it means that that company is allowed to increase its emissions level to the same quantity of the one that it purchased. So basically, it's a zero-sum game for the atmosphere. These are not reductions per se, are just avoided emission reductions. It just means that there's a geographical shift in emissions, so not a reduction per se. There's also a lot of research telling us that offsetting doesn't work that good in the sense that these offsets are not actually emissions reductions all the time. And the CDM Policy Dialogue in 2012 released a report which basically says that the CDM might have delivered less than 40% of the emission reductions it sold in the form of offset credits. There's also a lot of impact on the host countries, the developing countries. There should be a lot of sustainability benefits coming with these offsetting projects. However, these benefits are quite limited. There have been also serious human rights concerns with a lot of registered CDM credits. We discussed these issues at a side event here in Warsaw last week, where the current chair of the CDM Executive Board and 2 former chairs were invited to participate in the panel, and they all agreed that human rights abuses basically have zero tolerance in the UNFCCC negotiations. However, up to this point, there is no institutional safeguarding mechanism that can protect affected communities from these projects. Basically, if there's somebody affected by this CDM registered project, let's say, they cannot do anything about it. They cannot deregister that project. That project will just continue as it is. Also, there are problems with the local stakeholder consultation rules. If, let's say, the sustainability benefits initially promised in the project design documents do not go through, then there's nothing the affected communities can do about that, basically. There are certain quality restrictions at EU level right now, but this is not enough to ensure the environmental and social integrity of these projects. The options are to tackle this either at the supply side through the UNFCCC or implement additional quality restrictions.
So what can we expect from the current negotiations?
negotiations currently taking place here in Warsaw show very limited political willingness to tackle these rules, especially concerning the additionality of projects and the rules for the local stakeholder consultation. So then if we can't tackle this issue through the UN, then there should be more pressure on the buyers to implement further quality restrictions in the EU, because the EU is currently the largest buyer of these offset credits.